Okay.
Oh, we're back. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube. Hi, guys. I'm Jordan Page from FunCheaperFree.com.
I'm Bubba Page.
My handsome husband. So I'm a blogger at FunCheaperFree.com, and I have a budgeting program, BudgetBootcamp.com. And every Tuesday, we come on here and we just answer your questions.
Q&A Tuesday.
Oh, yes, we do. Today I'm talking specifically about a big challenge that I issued all of us for September. I'm just gonna jump into it. I have this method of cooking that I have dubbed shelf cooking.
We're gonna get this in the dictionary, people.
We are. It's a bucket list item for me to have a word in the dictionary. And I've been thinking about what to call this method of cooking that I do, which is basically to cook mostly from what you already have in your pantry,
Oh, wow.
pantry, fridge, and freezer, and then supplement it with things from the grocery store, not the other way around. And that's honestly how we've been able to feed our family of 7 so affordably while still feeding everybody substantial healthy meals. So the challenge for September, are you guys ready for this? My personal challenge is I'm going to feed our family of 7 on $25 a week of fresh groceries from the store, and then otherwise for the whole month, I am going to use what I already have on hand to make healthy meals for my family.
And she's gonna show it all over social media.
I am. There's a couple of purposes for this. I do have a purpose. I'm not just necessarily a glutton for punishment. But so I have a budgeting program that we mentioned.
BudgetBootcamp.com.
BudgetBootcamp.com. And oh, by the way, I told Bubba this, a goal of mine for this broadcast is I'm gonna try to hold my excitement and not interrupt him and let him talk. We're gonna see if I can do that.
It'll be great.
It'll be great. I'm practicing self-control here. But so on Budget Bootcamp, I talk a lot about grocery shopping and how much to spend on groceries for your family, which, do you remember what the equation is?
$100 per person per month.
Yes, so $100 per person in your family per month. Oh, Maury is freaking out.
I'm gonna check on a baby.
Gonna check on the baby. So you break it down per week. So if you've got 2 kids and 2 adults, that's $400 a month. But then broken down by week, it's $100 a week. From here on out, think of your grocery budget by week and not by month. So for me, instead of, $175 a week, I'm gonna be spending $25. And that for me is going to include everything consumable. So including cleaning supplies, diapers, wipes, everything. Because I want to show the world that you can get creative. That you don't, every time you need something, you don't have to run to the store. There are exceptions. I don't do cloth diapers. So if you need something like diapers or whatever, obviously, what are you gonna do? You can't fabricate your own diapers. But I happen to have a stockpile. And throughout the month, I'm going to show people how I was able to have important supplies on hand in case of emergencies, in case of a tight month, in case of I'm maybe flat on my back sick and we run out of diapers, whatever it is. It's important to have a little stockpile and you can do it affordably. I don't even know where to start because you guys had so many good questions. I will answer this question first, which was like, okay, wait, so you're telling me that you're going to feed your family on $25 a week. So what are you gonna eat, like mac and cheese and top ramen the whole month? Well, sure, I mean, that's definitely affordable. I could probably do that on like 10 bucks a week, but no, I'm going to show you. And oh, by the way, Bubba.
I'm back.
Actually, I shouldn't ask you this question because you're really nice, but am I a fabulous cook? You can be honest.
She's pretty dang good.
He's being really nice. I'm not that good of a cook. I'm not a foodie. I don't love cooking. It's not this passion of mine. I'm just a mom and I need to feed my family and keep them alive.
She gets the job done, people.
I get it done.
She gets it done.
I do like
efficiency is her #1 priority.
I do like to make healthy meals. So do we eat clean, green, organic, paleo, vegan? No. And if you guys do, then maybe what you need to do is set a more realistic challenge for yourself. So maybe instead of whatever you normally spend in a week, maybe you cut it down to $50 or $75 for the month of September. But yeah, so
you can do it.
Don't think that you have to be some gourmet chef. Don't think that you have to be this incredible cook because I'm not. And then the other question that I got asked most commonly today was, so then if you're eating out of your freezer and your pantry and your fridge and depleting all of that, then in October, aren't you just gonna have to go back and spend 3 times as much on groceries then? And my answer is no. And I will show you maybe October we'll be showing you more about how to build up your pantry, fridge, and freezer and to do it in an affordable way. So maybe that'll be the second challenge.
Love that. So don't forget, Shelf Cook September. Hashtag
is the hashtag for the challenge. Tell them about the promo code.
Help us to get it into the dictionary. Promo code, guys, if you're going to budgetbootcamp.com, one of the best budgeting programs out there, you are going to love it. Look at all the testimonials that are on the website at budgetbootcamp.com. And don't forget to get 10% off by entering YouTube. And you will get 10% off. And
Okay.
you'll love it.
Now, Facebook, I don't mean to like segregate myself necessarily, but I put a lot of information on Instagram. I do Instagram stories. I probably did like 30 today, showing what we were cooking, how I was cooking it, what we were eating, how I was shopping. So if you guys have Instagram, if you follow me on there, that's gonna be the quickest real-time way to keep up with me in this challenge. Otherwise, I'm going to do my best to keep up with at least weekly YouTube videos and blog posts as well. But the reality is, like, Instagram is gonna be the quickest way to see how I do all of this. Oh my gosh, hundreds of comments. Where do we even start?
Good work, everybody, good work.
I think I can do this for dinners, but what about for lunches also? Oh yes, school lunches was a big concern. Our school lunch system right now is mostly based off of convenience. I showed it again on my Instagram stories, but we have, what, like 3 baskets? Tell them a little bit about the baskets.
Each basket has a little label on it and it says something like take 1 or take 2, and then we have a fridge pull out where they can pick fruits and things.
Yeah.
So basically it's allowing the kids to pick those items themselves, to pick their own lunch, to make sure that they eat it. But we control what goes in the baskets, so we want to make sure it's good food for our kids.
Yeah, it's kind of like this common ground because they want the autonomy to pack their own lunch, but we don't want them to just pack fruit snacks and, you know, Rice Krispies, for lunch. And so we set the boundaries of, okay, you can have 1 treat, whatever treat you want. You can have 1 from this basket, 2 dried fruits or raisins, whatever from this basket. Crackers, granola bars are also a take 1 basket, and then take 2 things from the fridge, like, which is cheese. So here's the thing, a lot of it's based on convenience. I bought from Costco the individual packs of Goldfish crackers and the individual packs of fruit leather and this and that. That's all great and well and convenient, but it also costs you quite a bit more. So there are ways to still do lunches. You just have to know, and Bubba actually touched on this in the last broadcast before we got cut off. It's gonna take a little more time and a little more preparation. Tell us about your sandwich system.
Okay, so here's the deal. Take an entire loaf of bread. We like wheat bread.
Or 2, don't you do 2 sometimes?
It just depends on what time I got.
Okay.
So you grab a whole loaf of bread, you whip it out, and you get your peanut butter and your jelly and a big old fat knife, and you go nuts. You peanut butter and jelly every single one of those bread slices, and it's gonna be amazing. Your whole countertop's gonna be covered in sandwiches. Put them together, cut them in half, get them in individualized baggies.
Snack bags, because our kids usually only eat half.
Or a sandwich bag, depending on your age of kids. But the idea is you can put some of them in the fridge so that week they can pick out those sandwiches for any type of snack or for lunch, and then put the other half in the freezer if you're not going to use them, and they're great. Pull them out the freezer, put them back in the fridge, people can use them for the next week.
But,
and you get
your school is nut free. I do the same with meat and cheese sandwiches. I bought sweet Hawaiian rolls. I again showed this on Instagram stories, but I did a slice of meat, slice of cheese, slice of meat. You don't want your cheese and your bread to be frozen together because sometimes it gets a little bit mushy, so if the meat is the barrier, that's the best way to do it. And we freeze them. So with lunches, maybe you need to make your own things. Like I make fruit leather all the time. I take mushed up grapes and whatever. I haven't done bananas, but almost everything else, and you dry it. You can dry it in the oven, or I actually have like a dehydrator. Is that what that's called?
Dehydrator is amazing.
Yeah, apples, we blend up whatever in the blender like a smoothie, and but you don't add juice or anything. That would take forever, and you just dump it in and dry it. So I make my own fruit leather. So maybe it'll take a little extra time, but that's the purpose of this challenge, is to get us back to cooking what we have. Yeah, if you're out of bread, maybe make your own bread. My friend Liz, she's the food nanny. She has a really easy, foolproof bread recipe. I'm gonna try making it this month.
Done.
I know. So
homemade bread. Who doesn't love homemade bread?
Yeah. So anyway, it will take a little bit more time, and maybe it's not practical nor realistic for the rest of your life. But consider it a cleanse. And
you can do it.
Okay.
Prove to yourself you can do it.
Here's the big thing, I want to cover this really quick, is I have a lot of comments about freezers. and a lot of stress and anxiety about freezers, because we here in Utah, we've got basements. So I've got a fridge and freezer. I've got some extra freezers in my basement. I even have one in my pantry because the previous owners did that.
Why not?
I don't know, it's awesome. I highly recommend it. But I will say, I don't consider that an excuse if you say like, well, we're in a small house, or we don't have a basement, or I don't have a freezer. Get one.
The classified ads are super good. You can get freezers for cheap. And honestly, some of the chest freezers are a few $100. I know that's a lot.
Or like 120, you could get a new little chest freezer.
One. But you can cut out, you know, a drink in the morning every day, and in a couple months you can get one. But
yeah.
So my family, it doesn't have a basement. They're in Arizona, so they have one in an older fridge in the garage.
They have a fridge, freezer, and a freezer.
Yeah, fridge, freezer, right? And a freezer. But they put it in their garage. Mm-hmm. You know, other family members just they do what they can to figure it out. Even if you don't have pantry space, people are using a little spare closet space or a coat closet, and you know, you can
under
get
beds. Your parents do under their beds. They have like canned food, you know, things that roll out under the bed. Laundry room. So
I know a lot of people come up with a lot of excuses as to why they shouldn't. Or why
read that. Did you see that? Okay, so she's in an apartment. She put a chest freezer in her closet.
Yeah.
And I had someone message me saying that they got a chest freezer and they use it as their baby changing table. They just put the baby changing pad right on it. I had a friend who had a little chest freezer just kind of out in her living room. She threw a tablecloth over it and a lamp, and it looked like a side table. So you can get creative, you really can. And I promise you that this will be very hard to do if you don't have freezer space. If all you have is like a little top freezer, it will be hard. So take what I'm saying and adapt what you can with what you have right now. But just like, creative. If you can get an extra freezer anywhere. My parents don't even have a pantry. They live in a townhome right now, and they have a freezer in their garage. My mom turned a coat closet into a pantry in our townhome. We put one in our garage. So anyway, do what you can.
Okay, enough on that one.
Yes.
Let's move on.
We need a tour of all your freezers. Okay, so I, throughout the month, will try to do that. I actually, in my head, was like, okay, before the challenge begins, I'm gonna do all these awesome edited, you know, real camera filmed YouTube videos of like our freezer and get them all organized. The reality is, not gonna happen. So I'm literally going to figure this out right along with you. I don't have my meals planned. I didn't go like stockpile before the challenge. I've got a good supply. We've got a lot of food at our house, but we're just gonna do it together. Okay, for joining.
So some of the things, just so you guys kind of know, and maybe Jordan did this while I was gone, but
it's freezing.
Having, you know, some of the $25 spend each week is gonna be helping to cover milk and eggs and things that we eat all day, every day, and go through super quick. Those also are fairly inexpensive things, but we understand if you have to buy diapers, make it a convenient thing for you guys. So.
Yeah, maybe remove consumables from your $25 or $50 budget. That's okay. So if you need diapers or whatever, but cleaning supplies, guess what we clean with?
Water and vinegar.
Water and vinegar. It's like 1 part vinegar, like 5 parts water. And that's what we clean with and always have. I started buying those expensive fancy sprays, but truthfully, it's fine and it doesn't stink. It evaporates so fast. Do you know how much vinegar costs? It's like $1 something for a gallon. It is so inexpensive. You can clean your windows with it. So, and also my friend Jill, One Good Thing by Jilly, and on Pinterest you can find lots of recipes for homemade laundry detergent. There are lots of ways that we can get creative and, like I said, not run to the store and pay full price for things that we might not be needing to pay full price for.
So just remember, shelf cooking. Think about what you've got in your home. Make it happen. This is the month, September.
Yes. How do you prevent frostbite? I was just gonna say, here's a few tips for how to keep food good. So I like to freeze things that you might not even think of. Like I just bought a big bag of spinach from Costco. We will probably get through 2/3 of it, no matter how hard I try, maybe 3/4 of it, and then it'll start getting kind of mushy. So a few ways to keep it fresh or longer is put some paper towels in with your produce in the bag or in the container. Don't wash it till you need it. But when it comes time to freezing, just make sure it's dry. Like you don't want wet lettuce and put it in the freezer. You don't want that. For meat, I use Ziploc is the brand that I use, and they have specific freezer gallon bags and freezer quart bags. Those work really well. You can double bag them. You want to squeeze out as much air as you can. Some people, I'm not brave enough because I have like a weird thing about tastes in my mouth, but some people will stick a straw in the bag and like suck out the air and literally make their own vacuum sealer and seal it shut. I do have a vacuum sealer. I got it for Christmas probably like, my original one was like 5 years ago, and then I just got a new one for Christmas this year. Today, if you go to my Instagram stories, I cooked dinner, you don't even know this, with meat from January 2016. You did see it?
I saw it.
But how did it taste?
It was amazing. Fantastic.
It was awesome because
no freezer burn, no nothing.
It had been vacuum sealed, and it was kind of like buried in the bottom of our chest freezer, and I cooked it in the Instant Pot. The crock pot, I have found, dries out my meat when I cook it from frozen, but the Instant Pot is like magic. So there are a few kitchen tools you may want to invest in. I do the straw trick, just not with meat. Yeah, I can't imagine like sucking out the scent of meat in a straw, like blah. I really need to learn the Instant Pot. I am new to the Instant Pot. I don't fully trust myself with it nor understand it yet, but I'm getting there. And basically my MO is I will plan a slow cooker meal for the next day, and 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock rolls around and I've forgotten to turn on the crock pot, and it wouldn't normally be cooked in time, so then I'm making quesadillas or buying a $5 pizza for dinner. But instead, now the Instant Pot, anything you could make in the crock pot, you can do in the Instant Pot.
It's awesome. I am so glad we have one of those.
It's amazing. It's a pressure cooker.
Not sponsored. This
no,
is like
no.
Just a legit cool tip.
I will link below to the one that I use and love. So what other questions do you got? I've never had a problem with my crock pot drying out my meat straight from the freezer as long as there's enough liquid in it. I have a big crock pot that cooks things really hot. I think that's my problem. Oh, here we go. Bubba, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Tell us what to do for people who don't like leftovers or won't eat leftovers. Tell us like your thoughts on leftovers.
Okay.
Bubba's got a really good philosophy.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna like it if you don't like leftovers, but here's the deal, people. You gotta eat leftovers. As part of being alive, you eat leftovers. What did the Pilgrims do? They ate it and then they salted it and they ate it again. All right, you just eat it. So you have to do it. When you make a meal and you've got half of it left over, what are you gonna do? You can give it to your neighbor, and that would be very service oriented, and you can do that if you choose. But if you're gonna save it, you should pack it into little packages for your meals so that you or your spouse or your kids can take it with them for lunch or eat it.
So what do you mean by packages?
So Jordan bought these little Tupperware things. You can use any type of Tupperware or any type of even baggies.
You want to find freezer friendly Tupperware.
Okay, freezer friendly Tupperware.
BPA free and all that.
And then you can pack in these little packaged meals. So she has things like one section of it is the meat and potatoes, and the other section of it is the vegetables. She could put it in the fridge or the freezer, and then we have go-to meals super fast. Leftovers is humongous saver. You don't have to go out to eat every meal, dudes. I'm looking at you going out to lunch every day for business. You can bring your own lunch, and brown bag is okay.
What if they just don't taste good? Like what if you make something one night and it just doesn't taste as good the next day? Like, are there ways to make it taste better, or do you just suck it up and deal with it, or what do you do?
To be honest, sometimes you suck it up. But salt things, you make sure it's heated up properly. You can add a little extra Flavor Flav in your drink, maybe, whatever it is.
Bubba's good about choking it down. Plug it out like I get down.
My parents did a good job of teaching us that there are starving people everywhere around the world. You need to eat that food. Don't let it go to waste.
So wives, if you have, or maybe you're the one that doesn't like leftovers, but whoever it is in your family, if you don't like it, make it taste good. Like, we'll microwave something, but then your broiler could be your best friend. If you take something and heat it up, but then broil it for a second in the oven, it makes it all like bubbly and toasty. Or you can repurpose it. So for example, the other night, I made chicken. It was like an Oriental chicken and rice, and we got really sick of eating it. Well, guess what we did on Sunday? We fed all of our neighbors tacos, and
35 people.
We didn't have enough of the shredded pork to feed everybody. So you know what I did? I took the Oriental chicken stuff, I drained off some of the sauce, shredded it a little more, mixed it right on in with the pork, added a little bit of salsa to make it taste a little more Mexican, a little less Oriental.
And neighbors, if you're watching, you didn't even know.
Nobody even knew, but it was repurposing that meat into a whole new meal.
We've even taken steak, and for me, I love my steaks.
Yes.
And honestly, day 2, 3, 4, they're just not as good, but put them in a steak salad, bam, love it.
Go back and read these comments because I'm seeing great ideas. Leftover rice, you can make ham fried rice. spaghetti is a great way to use up leftovers. Yes, if you've got leftover tomatoes and like Bubba said, you can throw anything on a salad. So once you get tired of eating burritos, make a salad and put the beans and the meat and the stuff on it.
Okay, keep commenting with all the cool ideas you guys have done before or that you've seen or your parents have done. Because leftovers is cool, people. That's another hashtag. Leftovers is cool.
I want a hashtag, what did you say? No, what did you say?
Flavor.
Eat it, salt it, then eat it again. We're gonna make you a shirt.
And then Flavor Flav.
I'm paranoid about food going bad and getting sick. I have a 2-day rule. I can't really help you with that anxiety, but all I can tell you is we just ate meat from a year and a half ago.
2016.
We were fine.
It is in my belly.
We were fine. You want to keep it cold enough and you want to keep it hot enough. I don't want to jinx us. We have never, in all of our 10 years of marriage, of being married, we have never gotten food poisoning from something I've cooked. Okay, baked potatoes. Oh, okay, potatoes. Starches are an awesome, awesome way to stretch things. 20-pound bag of potatoes is like less than $2 at many of the stores that I shop at. 20 pounds, guys. Do you know what you can do with potatoes? Let us count the ways. You can make your own hash browns in the morning. Done that.
Love it.
Make mashed potatoes. You can, he loves, mashed potatoes are so easy, guys. If you don't make them, make them. Make them. You can put anything on mashed potatoes and it tastes good. Baked potato, you can make a full meal out of baked potatoes. And guess what? If you make baked potatoes and you're sick of eating them, scoop out the innards and make twice baked potatoes the next night. Oh snap. Or scoop out the innards and make mashed potatoes. You just reheat them and repurpose. You can slice them and make scalloped potatoes, French fries. You can make
loaded potatoes.
Loaded potatoes, so many things. So that's a cheap way to fill things on the side.
Pasta.
How do you store your potatoes so they don't start rooting? I don't know. I just keep them in my pantry.
Somebody help us out.
I actually keep mine in the fridge. And I don't think you're supposed to do that, but I've always done that and I've never had a problem. And I keep mine, I probably shouldn't say this. If you get sick, do not sue me. I keep my potatoes for months. Is that gross?
Until they get squishy and then they're gone.
Or, truthfully, I cut off the squishy part and make it work. I rarely have to throw out potatoes.
Potato soup. That's another good
one. Oh yeah, potato soup. And guess what? That freezes great. Potato soup freezes great. Can you freeze potatoes? You can freeze potatoes if they are shredded. What do you think shredded hash browns are? Shredded frozen potatoes. Oh, I have a tip. A big tip. I love these
comments, people. Keep them coming.
Oh my gosh, they're going so fast I can't even keep up with them. If you want to know what you can freeze, walk down the freezer aisle at your grocery store. That is where I get my greatest inspiration. It is impressive, the freezer meals they have going on right now. Anything you see in that freezer section, you can do. In the breakfast section alone, there's like scramble bowls, breakfast croissants ready to eat, breakfast burritos, hash meal things, and then
kiwi.
There's frozen pancakes, there's frozen waffles, waffle sticks, French toast sticks. It goes on and on.
All the time. I think this was a good question that was asked, and I think you should address it.
Okay, let's do it.
So, if for all of those who are going to start the Shelf Cook September hashtag, what should they do right now? Because they've got a couple days.
What time is it? Oh, it's the 29th.
They've got a couple days to go and prep for what they need. Now, don't go out there and buy tons of stuff. But some people are saying, like, what are the essentials?
Yes, thank you. I was going to cover that. Thank you for keeping me on track. Here's what you should do right now. First of all, you are going to inventory. Sorry guys, but you're gonna do it. You're gonna go through your fridge first, obviously, because that's what's gonna go bad the fastest. We're talking condiments, we're talking sauces, we're talking leftovers, things in jars shoved in the back of your fridge. I want you to write down on down to the fresh produce drawer everything you have in your fridge. And then I want you can do it. Yes, you can. And then do the same with your pantry. That may take you a while if you've got a big pantry or have a lot of things, but guess what? Some of that stuff has probably been in there for a long freaking time, okay? So you're gonna do that, and then last but not least is your freezer. Get a cooler, pull everything out from the top first, write what it is. I have a printable on funcheaperfree.com. Just search freezer inventory. It'll pop up. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna set this stuff on the top half of your freezer in the cooler, the rest of it on the floor, put it back, because then guess what? All the stuff that was on the top is now on the bottom, and the stuff that's on the bottom will end up on the top. And then you're gonna go to the store and pick up a few things. Focus on, what did you say? You said eggs?
Eggs and milk. And
lots of eggs.
Cheese, things that you probably use on a daily basis.
But stuff that you can use to make a meal. If you don't have much protein lying around, maybe go buy like a pack of chicken. Maybe buy a roast. Don't go crazy. My rule is do not spend more than you would normally spend on groceries. The zombies are not coming, guys. You don't need a stockpile for your life. Just go pick up a couple.
We're gonna cover that next month. There were actually
we
tons
will.
of people who come in and they would love to see a post about stockpiling next
Okay,
month.
so we'll do that for October. I will show you how I slowly, it's not gonna happen in a month. It shouldn't happen in a month. We'll talk about that. But it's a slow process.
But the idea behind it though is that you're going to be able to do this in September. Take a look at what's in your pantry, your freezer, your fridge, and make a plan. People are talking about meal planning. That's a great idea. Take the inventory you have, start planning, okay, there are these 4 weeks. What are we gonna focus on in these 4 weeks? And what are we gonna do each night? It's something that you can do with you and your spouse. It's probably a bonding experience. And you can get ready for it.
Stocktober.
Hashtag that.
That's it.
amazing.
We're doing
Stocktober.
Shelf Cook September and then Stocktober.
October.
Coming at ya.
just
That is perfect. Stocktober. Done. For this challenge, I want you to keep the ultimate goal in mind. The ultimate goal is not for me to make you absolutely miserable. There are a few reasons for this. Number one, this was inspired because I opened my freezer and I find myself picking the first 5 things out of the front because it's full. And there's crusty ice starting to build up. I need to rotate through everything in my freezer, and it's physically really difficult to do that unless you start using stuff up. So I need to use what we have, get back to that 2016
our
meat.
freezer cleanse.
Freezer cleanse, yeah, and I'm actually gonna defrost my freezer and get them all back and organized. But number 2 is I found myself over the summer, I'm sure you guys are this way too, getting a little lazy and going for convenience and buying prepackaged meals, frozen meals, eating out a lot more. It's time to remember what it feels like to be self-sufficient, to be creative, and to make things yourself. And then lastly, it's to help recoup all of the money that we just spent in summer and help us to start saving up for Christmas, because guess what? Christmas is coming. But I will say this, I actually have decided, I haven't even told you this yet, that all of the money that I would have spent on groceries this month, I'm going to donate to Texas. My heart is really breaking. I've got friends in Texas. I was crying in my bed the other night as we were watching footage. So if any of you guys feel like you're fine financially, maybe you can find it in your hearts to share at least some of the surplus that you have, because there are literally hundreds of thousands of people really suffering right now in Texas. And
right here in our own country, people.
Yeah, it's kind of a helpless feeling, like not really knowing what to do. And so I feel like if there's a way that we could kind of band together, and I'm like getting emotional, but it's really sad. Like you see babies that are totally stranded in houses and stuff. So maybe if you guys can take a minute and set aside some of that money and donate it to a good cause. We will donate a lot of it to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because we know that 100% of the funds go to help people. The Red Cross is also a great place. I get a little wary of some of the other organizations that I don't know of personally, because sometimes that money gets allocated in different ways. So whoever you trust, maybe donate some of your money there. But waste not, want not.
Guys, we love you so much. We gotta let you go. It's been a great night.
I'm getting hormonal.
Thank you for the amazing comments. If you're just joining now, make sure you scroll back through the comments. There were some amazing ideas from you guys.
My blog, funcheaperfree.com, has a lot of resources, though shelf cooking has never been talked about formally before. This is gonna be a new thing, and guess what?
Hashtag.
You guys are on the forefront of this trend. You are trendsetters right now. We're gonna make this a way of living.
Help us put it in the dictionary.
We're gonna put it in the dictionary. Go to budgetbootcamp.com if you really want a little more help getting your finances in order. We walk you, Bubba's on there too. We walk you through step by step how to get out of debt, how to stop fighting about money, how to have money for grocery shopping in the first place.
When your paycheck's not enough.
How to live an incredible life on any budget. So use the code for YouTube for 10% off.
Love you guys. We gotta let you go.
I need you to push the buttons because I have like separation anxiety.
Bye, YouTube. Love you.